सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। So, we were doing, Purva Pakshi says that according to Vedanta, there is no jiva other than Ishvara. Vedanta itself holds the stand that there is no jiva other than Ishvara. If that is the case, then why do you say, he is asking a question to the Siddhanti, then why do you say that jiva's knowledge depends upon the senses, whereas Ishvara's knowledge is independent of the senses? Why do you make this difference? Ishvara's knowledge is independent of the senses. That is why even before creating the body and the senses, he was able to see and create. That means even before he created the senses, if he was able to see, that means his seeing, his knowledge is independent of the senses. So you are saying God's, Ishvara's knowledge is independent of the senses, whereas Jiva's knowledge depends upon the senses. This difference you are making. Okay. But now, why do you have to make this difference? When Vedanta itself is saying there is no jiva other than Ishvara? This is the question raised by the Purva Pakshi. In answer to this question, the Siddhanti says, yes, it is true, there is no jiva other than Ishvara, but there is a notion, the notion that I am jiva. There is no jiva other than Ishvara. Ishvara himself viewed as jiva. So when Ishvara is viewed as jiva, then the Ishvara's status as Ishvara continues. And also the notion that I am jiva, you see. So the status of the rope continues. The status of the rope continues as the rope. And the notion that it is snake also continues. You see? So similarly, the Ishvara's status as Ishvara continues even when the Ishvara is seen as Jiva. Thus, Jiva is not another entity. It is a notion about the same entity. It is not an entity other than Ishvara. It is the same Ishvara with the notion that I am Jiva. This the Siddhanti said. This is what we were doing. Atra uchyate satyam na ishwaradanyas sansari tathapi iva tathapi dehadi sanghata upadi sambandha ishyate eva ghata karaka giri guhadi upadi sambandha iva vyognaha. So, even though it is true that Jiva is not another entity, but yet, due to identification with the body, and that identification is not a process, it is a judgment, it is in the form of a notion. It is not some kind of a sanyoga, it is I am Deha, this non-discerning, a state of non-discerning between the subject and the body is what we call the mistake, this non-discerning. I don't discern between me and the body. Then I continue to live with the idea that I am the body. This is what we call the wrong judgment. This is called equation with the body. This is called adhyasa, anadhyasa. So here the sutra, the Siddhanti says, Dehadi sanghata upadi sambandha, and having association with the body, Ishyateva is considered to be Jiva. Is indeed Jiva. Is accepted as Jiva, is acceptable as Jiva. Like what? Khadakaraka giri guhad upadi sambandha iva vyomna. Like the space remaining unlimited can be viewed as a pot space. Remaining unlimited, it can be viewed as limited to the pot. So even when the space is viewed as limited to the pot, it doesn't become limited. See, this is the whole rahasyam is here. See, the reality remaining reality, the space remaining unlimited, the space remaining unlimited is viewed as limited to the pot. Now this viewing that it is limited to the pot doesn't make it really limited, you see. So this is also true. So in that manner, space remaining unlimited, if it can be viewed as limited to the pot, then we get two words. One is unlimited space, the other is limited space. Not that limited space is an entity other than unlimited space. That it is unlimited is a reality, that the space is unlimited is reality, that is the truth, and that it is limited is a notion. Thus, just as there can be a notion that the space is limited, and when we carry the notion that the space is confined to the walls of the room or confined to the walls of the pot, then we give a name also to it. It is a room space, it's a pot space, it's a jar space, it's a cave space. In this manner we get different names. It becomes a jiva, akasha. It becomes a jiva. But even when it is viewed as confined to the walls, but this space actually remains unlimited. This is what the individuals have to think. Fantastic thing. When we mistake a reality, it doesn't become that. It doesn't become it. It's like, if I mistake, a rope for snake, it doesn't become snake. If I mistake a donkey for a horse, it is not going to become a horse. That means realities don't change no matter how they are viewed. In the same manner, Atma also, as unlimited, is Ishvara. as unlimited. One's own self as unlimited is Ishvara. But taken limited to the body is Jiva. Therefore, it is oneself that is Jiva. It is oneself that is Brahma. One's own self. It is oneself that is Ishvara. It is oneself that is Jiva. If I judge myself as nothing but a form, I am a Jiva. If I think I am nothing but a form, then I am a Jiva. Then I have to behave like a Jiva. Because our behavior is always in keeping with our perceptions anyway. It can't be otherwise. Our behavior is always in keeping with our perceptions. So if our perception is wrong, our behavior is wrong. If I judge myself as a form, then I feel that I am a form, therefore I am limited. Because form is limited, I am limited. Form is non-eternal, I am non-eternal. You see, form changes, I change. Form is insecure, I am insecure. What is whole life? Life is nothing but fear of insecurity. Fear of change, fear of age, fear of death. Thus, Jiva's behavior is chaotic. Why? Because this perception that I am the form happens to be wrong. How this perception that I am only form is wrong? Is because every day he leaves the form and takes the form. The one who leaves the form and takes the form can't be the form. Therefore, in reality, as unlimited being, as unlimited conscious being, we are Ishvara. And our Ishvaratvam is Anubhava Siddham. Our Jivatvam is a notion. Both are evident. It is not that our being a Jiva is a perception and our being Ishvara is a belief. It is not that our being, the form, is true. Our being limited is true, but our being unlimited is a belief, you can't say. Vedanta does not distinguish between perception and belief. Vedanta distinguishes between perception and anubhava experience. Our experience always tells that we are unlimited because I don't stand as a form, but I stand as aware of everything. That is our identity. Our identity is not inert. Our identity is conscious. We are conscious. That is our identity. We are aware. That is our identity. If our identity were only a form, then we would not have been aware. Because an object cannot be aware. But our primary identity is that we are aware. So, the one who is aware is unlimited because everything that one is aware of is within the realm of that awareness. In a manner of speaking, everything is in our sight. Everything is in our sight. Waking is in our sight, in our experience. Dream is within our knowledge. Even the so-called blackout is also within our awareness, within our sight, within our knowledge. And to be within our sight means to be within our being, because our sight is not other than our being. Therefore, our being unlimited is Anubhava Siddham. Our being Param Brahma is Anubhava Siddham. Our being the form is only a conclusion. If we were really a form, we would not have been aware. See? We would not have been aware. The sun may be shining, but it is not aware. That is nothing. That physical luminosity is nothing. Physical light is anatma. The sun is physically luminous, but it is not aware. These five elements can't be aware. Even this body as inert cannot be aware. Therefore, when we refer to ourselves, we always refer to ourselves as me, and that me is aware, conscious. Therefore, the status of being unlimited is our own, and the notion of being limited is also our own. That I am limited is my notion, that I am unlimited is my nature. That is Vedanta. That the space is boundless, unlimited, unconfined, that the space is unconfined is its nature. That the space is confined is an onlooker's notion or the notion of the space. If the space thinks I am only inside the pot, the space thinks I am only caught inside the pot. Possible. The space thinks I am caught inside the pot, inside the walls of a cave. That sense of confinement felt by the space is called the notion. But in actuality it is not confined. So by nature it continues to be unconfined, and in thinking it feels it is confined. So they are not two entities. It is remaining unlimited is misunderstood as limited. Therefore, as unlimited it is Ishvara. As thought limited is Jiva. As unlimited our being is Ishvara. As felt limited, as judged limited, one is called Jiva. Thus, Bhagavan says here, Khatakaraga Giri Guhadhyupadi Sambandhayo Tatkritascha. Born of this wrong judgment, Shabda Pratyaya Vyavahara. There is a Shabda Vyavahara and a Pratyaya Vyavahara. Pratyaya Vyavahara is I am the body. Shabda Vyavahara is to say it. To feel that I am the body is Pratyaya Vyavahara. And to describe the same thing to others is Shabda Vyavahara. I am the body. To say that is Shabda Vyavahara. To think that is Pratyaya Vyavahara. I mean, these are the two Vyavaharas, we are greatly involved. We think and we talk. It's like, I see the rope as snake. That is called Pratyaya Vyavahara. Seeing the rope as snake is Pratyaya Vyavahara. And then I call it also, oh, snake, 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 snake. That is called Shabda Vyavahara. So, I view myself as the form and I describe myself as the form. I view myself as limited, that is Pratyaya Vyavahara, and I describe myself as limited. Thus, thinking and speech, thought and word go together. Thought and word, there is a beautiful coordination between thought and word. It is difficult to think and not use the language. Try to entertain a thought and not use the language. Try to think. Silently there is speech. There is speech. The association between, the relation between thought and word were by our choice. If the relation between the thought and word were by our choice, then we would have been able to think without speech and speak without thought. But it's not possible to think without speech and speak without thinking. It only means there is a choiceless connection, relation between thought and word. This is what is called avidhana avidheya bhava, gauna ekatvam. In Mandukya we saw gauna ekatvam. There is an unsnappable relation between thought and word. Unsnappable relation, unsnappable association. This unsnappable association, unsnappable relation must be understood like this. There can't be an object unavailable for description in words. You see? There can't be an object unavailable for description in words. If it is a form, it is available for description in words because it has a jati, guna, kriya, sambandha, and the language functions on that basis. You can classify an object, you can qualify an object, you can relate an object. If you can classify, qualify and relate, like a tree, you can classify it, that it is a tree. It can be classified under trees. That is jati. And you can qualify guna. It is a green tree, tall tree, tamarind tree, vagara, vagara. That is qualification. Then you can relate it. It is a tree in Delhi. And you say it is relation. It's my tree, your tree, garden tree, forest tree. It's relation. Any object can be classified, qualified, be related. Jati, guna, kriya, sambandha. So, any object that can be classified, qualified and related is available for words, description. That means the existence of an object as an object, the existence of an object as an object is inseparable from its describability in words. For an object to be means to be available for description in words. Thought is an object. Thought refers to an object. Thought pertains to an object. Therefore, when I entertain a thought about an object, the language also comes along. The language also comes in this manner. The relation between thought and word is not something that we bring about. It is something that is there. And therefore it is gauna ekatvam. Gauna ekatvam means, an unsnappable relation. Like eyes and forms. Unsnappable. Sight. Eyes are related to the form. It is not possible for even Bhagavan to create eyes without creating forms. It is not possible even for Bhagavan to create ears without creating sounds. Senses and objects have an unsnappable relation between them. This unsnappable relation is what is called gauna ekatvam. This is called shabda vyavahara and pratyaya vyavahara. I see and I talk about it. I see and I talk about it. I think and I talk about it. And this applies to oneself. I see myself as a form and I talk about it. I view myself as non-eternal and I talk about it. This view of oneself is called pratyaya vyavahara. Pratyaya means thought. Pratyaya vyavahara. And the language associated with it is called shabda vyavahara. Thus, the entire vyavahara fundamentally is only this. Shabda and Pratyaya. To think and to use the language. Language is not possible without thought. Thought is not possible without the language. That is why the Upanishad says, Yatho vacho nivartante aprapya manasasaha. Words always beat back from the truth along with the thought. Why? Because thought and words are one and the same, one block. That's why here Bhagavan says, Tat kritascha Shabda pratyaya vyavahara lokasya, for this world. This world, we see that this world has this pratyaya vyavahara and shabda vyavahara, meaning we see the world viewing itself as the body and talking about itself as the body. This notion is what we call jiva. So, that we are unlimited makes us Ishvara. The status of Ishvara is ours. The status of the nature of being unlimited is ours. And the notion of being limited also is ours, is about ourselves. Thus, remaining unlimited, I view myself as Jiva. And the ununderstood identity of one's own being is Ishvara. The ununderstood actuality of oneself is Ishvara. Thus, we don't accept that Ishvara is another entity. It is one entity and Jiva is another entity. That is why the Shruti says Jiva is Brahma. If Jiva is Brahma means Jiva as Jiva is Jiva. Jiva as Jiva is Jiva. But his nature is unlimited. Thus, we don't say, sir, the Siddhanta tells Purvapakshi, you are right. Vedanta doesn't accept Jiva as an entity other than Ishvara. But yet we do have two. One is the nature, the other is notion. It is a nature notion situation. One is the nature, the other is the notion. In that way that there are two. There is a language of Jiva and Ishvara. Ishvara is the status, the nature of being unlimited. The Jiva is the same being taken for the form, and that is Jiva. And it is not that we are limited is perception and that we are unlimited is a belief. That we are limited is a notion. That we are unlimited is anubhava. Is anubhava. What is the anubhava here? That I am aware is the anubhava of unlimitedness. That one is aware, that is the anubhava of unlimitedness. Because all that one is aware of is not outside the one who is aware. What is the notion? That I am Jiva, that I am of the size of the body. You see, if it is true that I am the body, then I would not have been aware. This is what you have to reflect. If we were the form, we would not have been aware. And if we are aware, we are not the form. So now both are evident. That we are aware is evident. And the same being taken as the form, the notion is also evident. If we were the form, we would not have been aware. It is an unchangeable position of Vedanta. It is an unchangeable position of any logically thinking person. If we were the form, we would not have been aware. We would not have been aware of, my God, the whole universe. No ordinary thing. The universe is falling in the context of awareness. The universe is not falling in the context of the body. Because body also is a part of the universe. Because in the last class we saw, it is not right to refer to the objects. Because objects cannot exist isolated from the senses. Senses can't exist isolated from the objects. There is an unsnappable relation. Senses and objects have Gauna Ekatvam, unsnappable relation. Mind, thought and the object have unsnappable relation. Therefore, this whole thing, objects and senses, objects and thoughts, have to be taken into account as one block. That block is what we call the universe or the creation. If that is the thing, then this universe falls in the context not of the body, because the body is a part of this universe. The universe is not falling in the context of the senses, because the senses also are a part of creation. The universe is not falling in the context of the thought. Thought is a part of the creation. Thus the objects and thoughts, objects and senses, objects and the body, objects and memories, objects and emotions, this whole block falls in the context of awareness. I know, I am aware. I am aware of the world, I am aware of the body, I am aware of the senses, I am aware of the objects, I am aware of the thoughts, their objects, aware of the emotions, their objects. I am aware of the whole waking state. I am aware of the time and what is time bound. I am aware of the waking state and I am aware of the dream state. I am aware of the negation of the waking state. I am aware of the dream state in its negation. I am aware of the blackout. Thus everything is falling in the context of awareness. And that awareness definitely cannot be limited, because in order to be limited, it has to be a part of the creation, it has to be one of the objects. Therefore, the Vyapakam, the pervader, is the subject. Universe is pervaded. Like the clay pervades pot, pervaded. Pervade is a peculiar thing, because, in the society, when we hear the words pervader, pervaded, we divide them into two, as though they are two things. Because, we always count the objects as many as there are words. Jitni shabd hai, utni objects we want. Like, wave, water. There are two words, there must be two realities. This is the sanskar. Because we are mathematically correct, you see. There are two words, there should be two entities. Yeah, that is true, there are two entities and also only one. Wave and water, but actually there is only water, the pervader, wave is pervaded. Vyapaka, water is Vyapaka, wave is Vyapya, Vyapya. Awareness is Vyapaka and the creation is Vyapya. Thus, our being unlimited is not a matter of belief. Our being aware is not a belief. That we are aware is not a belief. That we are aware is not a belief. And that we are the body also is not a belief. That we are aware is the anubhava, is the experience, universal experience, unchangeable situation. Our status of being aware cannot be replaced. Our status of being aware cannot be replaced, cannot be changed, cannot be meddled with. It is the truth. That is the truth. But they thought that I am the body is not a belief, but a notion about that anubhava. It is an error about the anubhava. Thus, pratiti, the notion that I am the body, is the notion That I am limited is the notion. That we are unlimited is Anubhava. Shastra helps the jiva to discern between the notion and Anubhava. Discerning between the notion and Anubhava is otherwise called discerning between Atma and Anatma. Discerning between Atma and Anatma. Thus, lokasya drishtaha ghataçhidram karakadiçhidram ityadihi akasha avyatirekepi. We call the space inside the pot as pot, we qualify it as pot space. Space in the room is qualified as room space. Space in the cave is qualified as cave space. Though space remains unqualifiable. As unlimited, it is, I can't associate it with anything. Because space cannot be qualified as room space, this space, that space. Space is unlimited. Because it is not confined to any particular thing. Space is not in the four elements. In fact, the four elements are in space. In fact, the four elements are not only in space, the four elements are space. Because what runs through the matter is space. What runs through the space? You see, whatever is the dimension of, a grain of matter, it has occupied only that much of space. That means that is only that much of space. One inch of matter has occupied 1 inch of space. That means 1 inch of matter is nothing but 1 inch of space. There is nothing in it, and therefore, that is why Shruti, you see, this is the unfoldment. Says the space is the immediate material for Vayu, air, fire, water, earth. Though the ultimate material for the 5 elements is the Atma. Thus, even though we see the world using the language like this, Ghataçhidram, pot space, Karakadiçhidram, jar space, Ityadihi, these expressions we come across in the world, the room space, the pot space, the jar space, the cave space, Akasha Avyatirekevi, even though they are all nothing but unlimited space. Even though space remains unlimited, I qualify it as pot space. In the same manner, awareness, even though it is unlimited, it is qualified as me, Mr. Subramanyam, me, Mr. Devadatta, me, Mr. I qualify myself in terms of the form, in terms of various labels. Me as present in this body. Me that is present in the body. Me that is present in the body. Just as space is not in the pot, but a pot in the space. In the same manner, awareness is not in the body, but the body is in awareness. Meaning, body is made of awareness. Awareness is not made of matter. Awareness is not. Awareness is not an evolution from the pot. Nor pot is an evolution from awareness. There is no process of change. Like, when I mistake the rope for snake, the snake that I see is not an evolution from the rope. Nor pot space is an evolution from the total space. I am viewing the total space as pot space. It is only a bhranti, it's a thinking. I am thinking, I am viewing the unlimited as limited. I am viewing the unlimited as limited. So pot space is not an evolution from the total space, from the unlimited space. Nor this view Viewing the unlimited as limited also is not an evolution. Viewing the unlimited as limited is not an evolution. Viewing the unlimited as limited is an error about the unlimited. And the error about the unlimited is due to the lack of recognition of the unlimited as unlimited. Therefore, there is a reality and an error. That is a Vedic vision. There is a truth about which the whole thing is a vision, a view. And it is a correctable error. Evolution is a part in the matter. Evolution is not between truth and the universe. Like causation is a part of creation. Causation is not the means of creation. Causation is not the means by which the creation came about. Causation is like a form is a part of creation, sound is a part of creation, time is a part of creation, change is a part of creation, causation also is a part of creation, but not a means of creation. Change is not a means of creation. In that manner, even evolution that happens, some changes take place in this world, in this matter. In this matter, so many things take place. It is a part of creation. So Rajju Sarpa, that mirage water that I see, let us take this in. Mirage water is not an evolution from the sand. I see one moon as two moons. The second moon is not an evolute from the first moon. It is not an evolution. And therefore, neither the second moon is an evolution, nor my judgment that there is a second moon is an evolution, even though they are not two things. This judgment that there is a second moon is an error about the first moon. The one is judged as two in this manner. Vepi tatkrita cha akashe ghatakashad bheda mithya buddhir drishta. Mithya buddhi is seen in this world. Though akasha remains unlimited, the wrong notion of qualifying the unlimited space as part space, etc. is seen. Mistaking the unlimited as limited is seen in this world. Mistaking the unlimited space as limited is seen. In that manner, here also, the unlimited awareness is seen as limited. What is impossible about it? Tatha ihapi dehadi sanghata upadi sambandha avivekakrita ishvara sansari bheda mithya buddhi. Just as there is an error about the space, there is an error about the self. Why there is error? Because dehadi sanghata upadi sambandha avivekakrita. Very beautiful expression. Because I don't see the difference between the one who is aware and the body. I don't see, I look upon myself as a body with a conscious quality. I look upon myself as the body with a conscious quality. But consciousness cannot be the quality of matter, nor matter can be the quality of consciousness. There is no noun-adjective relation between consciousness and the body. If body is a noun, if body has a quality of awareness, then anything must have quality of awareness. You see, an adjective, if body is the noun and consciousness is the adjective, then as long as the noun is there, adjective should be there. Then it can't even die. So even if you cut cut the body into pieces, every piece must be conscious. Like you see, when you cut, a green tree, then every part of it is green anyway. Every part of it has the quality of being wood, because that is its adjective. In that manner, like a blue lily, you cut it into pieces, it continues to be blue lily. Color is its quality. In that manner, it is just taken for granted that I am a body with some mind. I am a body with some mind. I am body. In fact, I don't even look into it. What I am, nobody bothers. Nobody bothers really. Jiva doesn't bother as to what I am. I am only this form, and I have to survive. I have to work. I have to eat. One is aware of hunger and thirst. Then just survival. Right. That is why here Bhashyakara says, why there is Bhranti, he says, Dehadi Sanghata Upadi Sambandha Aviveka Krita. There is non-discerning between the one who is aware and the body. Ishvara Sansari Bheda Mithya Buddhi. That is why the very unlimited is seen as Sansari, and the very unlimited is seen as a struggler, and there is a sense of division between oneself and the unlimited. You see, I see myself, the unlimited as limited, and then conclude the unlimited is away. Thus, I am only Jiva, not Ishvara. This is sense of division. I am only Jiva, not Ishvara is a Veda. And being limited, I continue to be a Sansari. Therefore, I come to struggle because of this non-discerning. And I also come to view that I am only Jiva, not Ishvara. If there is Ishvara, it should be somewhere away. This Veda Buddhi, me and God, this sense of division between me and God. If there is God, there may be, but I am not that. God is different, I am different, and I am limited, and I am a struggler. This sense of limitation, sense of division is felt, otherwise called samsara, is felt only due to non-discernment. So like for example, you see, if the conscious being is not the form, the conscious being can't be the form, and conscious being can't be limited, there can't be conscious, limited consciousness. It's not possible. The very fact that one is conscious is indeed makes him unlimited. We don't have to prove consciousness as unlimited. We have to only prove to ourselves that we are consciousness, not form. We are conscious, not along with the form. We are solely conscious. We are solely observed. We are solely observed. Therefore, by dint of being conscious, one is unlimited. I am conscious but also the form. That means I am a form with a conscious quality is an error. But we are solely conscious. So in this discernment, the sense of being the form is corrected, and in the correction of, when there is correction of the sense of being the form, then there is correction of the sense of being limited, and also the sense of division between oneself and Parameshwara, because as unlimited one, that is what is Brahma. As free from the limitation of the form, one is Brahma anyway. Thus the sense of division, the sense of limitation and samsara, everything is corrected in one Mahavakya, which is the whole Shastram. The whole Shastram is that thou art not Jiva, thou art Brahman, and unfolding that Vakya is the whole Shastra, and preparing the Jiva for that is called the culture. Preparing the individual. Vedic culture is that which prepares the individual to understand the Vedic vision. See? So it is a very, very well proved, it is a well planned for human liberation. See, culture is not something, anything that I do for some time becomes the culture anyway. Because what is the definition of culture in this world? A particular society, whatever lifestyle it has been leading, the way it eats, the way it dresses, the way it lives its lifestyle, lived for a length of time becomes a culture. What is there about it? And it can always be changed. Culture here is, our definition of Sanskriti is that which prepares the individual for understanding his reality. This is called the Vaidika Sanskriti and Vaidika Jnana. Vaidika vision. But anyway, here Siddhanti answers the Purvapakshi by saying, my dear Purvapakshi, indeed it is true that Veda doesn't accept the Jiva as an entity other than Ishvara. But we are not blind to the fact that there is a Jiva in the form of a notion. We don't deny the Jiva status. We don't deny the notion. We don't deny the Bhranti. We don't deny the reality. Our reality is being Ishvara, and there is a notion that I am a Jiva. Thus, they are not two. They are one. One is the truth, the other is a notion. But the notion doesn't negate the truth. A notion doesn't negate the truth. A bluff doesn't change the truth. A bluff doesn't change the truth. You see? And then remember, we can't even make a bluff unless there is, my God, it is very difficult to tell a lie unless there is the truth. That's all Vedanta. In fact, if we want to really, put the whole Vedanta, in a very, very, very brief manner or in a funny manner, you can say, what is Vedanta? The Vedanta says, you can't bluff unless there is truth. A bluff is that which gets evaporated in the knowledge of the truth. Until you see the truth, bluff remains the truth. Bluff remains, until the truth is seen, you will take the bluff only as the truth. So when you are living the bluff, you suffer. When you discover the truth, the bluff is gone, the struggle is also gone. That's all Vedanta. That's all Vedanta. Yes, that's all Vedanta. But it is a bluff about the truth understanding. And one's own existence as an individual is a bluff about the truth. Anyway, next is Drishyate cha atmanaha eva sataha dehadi sanghate anatmani atmatva abhiniveshaha mithya buddhi matrena purvena drishyate cha atmanaha sataha. It is indeed seen that remaining conscious, the conscious being remaining conscious without losing the status of being conscious. Drishyate cha atmanaha eva sataha dehadi sanghate, in the embodiment. Anatmani, in the non-self, the form. Atma abhiniveshaha, a sense of equation. There is a thought that I am the form without losing the status of being conscious. Atmanaha sataha eva dehadi sanghate atma buddhi abhiniveshaha. Indeed, we have the thought that we are the form without losing the status of being conscious. Otherwise, supposing I did become the form, then I should cease to be conscious. If the subject did become the form, then it should cease to be. Let us just imagine the conscious gets converted to the form, then the form by nature is not conscious, then there should be no If there is no consciousness, then there is no knowledge of the form also. There is shunyam. Unless there is consciousness, there cannot be any existence of even the form. Therefore, Atmanaha Sadaha, remaining Atma, remaining subject, remaining subject. The conscious being, remaining conscious being, is the error that I am the form. This is seen. Avinivesha, Mithya Buddhi Matrena Purven. And there is, in the form of an error, which has a chain about itself, meaning there is an error leading to another error, leading to another error, meaning even though it is all one error, it's like saying, you see, say, oh, this is snake, this is called one error, let us see. Oh, it is a cobra, is another error. Oh, it is moving, is another error. It's frightening, another error. Fearful, these are all what? Creates a chain reaction. Creates a chain reaction. And every reaction is in the form of not a process but an error. Conclusion leading to another conclusion. That's why here Bhashyakara says Purvena. Purvena, Purvena. Each error presupposing another error. Leading to rather. The error that I am the form leads to another error that I am non-eternal. That leads to another error. Another, it's not another error. It's all one. That is why we create nimitta naimittika bhava. There is a reason-result relation. Dehoham is the reason, and therefore I am non-eternal is the result. And that becomes the reason. Fear becomes the result. Like this, there is a reason-result chain. Reason-result relation. I am Deha leads to that I am insecure, etc., etc. I am Deha, I am Prana, I am Manaha, Aham, Buddhi, Aham, Ahankara, Aham, these are all really Panchakoshas, these are all one era. But when you dissect, you count them as many. In the context of dissecting them, you count them many, otherwise it is one error. Purvena. When this is so, just another couple of minutes. Saticha evam, when this is so. Sansaritve dehadyapeksham ekshitritvam upapannam sansarinaha. You can put a mark there. That is why I said, Ishvara's knowledge does not depend upon the senses, whereas Jiva's knowledge depends upon the senses. Meaning, when I look at myself as the form, I think that my knowledge depends upon the senses. But by nature as unlimited, my knowledge doesn't depend upon the sense. That means our knowledge in actuality, our knowledge as the being doesn't depend upon the senses, because awareness is not born of the senses. Therefore, our knowledge as a conscious being, we as a conscious being, our knowledge doesn't depend upon the senses. But I judge myself as a form, then I also judge that my knowledge depends upon the senses. Therefore, that our knowledge depends upon the senses is notional, like limitation is notional. Dependency for knowledge also becomes notional. Thus we can say, Jiva's knowledge depends upon the senses. Ishvara's knowledge doesn't depend upon the senses. Meaning, our Swarupa does not depend on our Swarupa Jnanam. The knowledge of our Swarupa does not depend upon the senses. And if you make it more, very intelligible, it should be understood in a very brief manner. Thought depends upon the senses. Consciousness does not depend upon senses. Consciousness is not thought. We are not a thought. We are the subject. Because we are able to know the end of thought. The one who knows the end of thought doesn't know it through another thought. You see, that the thought is non-eternal, that not only one thought, the entire realm of thoughts comes to an end is our knowledge. It's not our belief. That the whole mind dies, that the whole mind resolves, is our knowledge. Absolute peace is our experience. Relative peace is known to us, absolute peace is known to us. Who doesn't know absolute peace? Absolute peace everybody knows, because where there is no thought, not even the reference to its prior presence. There is no thought and also no memory. When there is no thought and memory, that is absolute shanti. That is, therefore, freedom from perception and memory, freedom from thought and memory is not our belief. Freedom from thought and memory is our experience. If you say it is not your experience, then your reference has to be brought under the category of belief. Therefore, it is okay to say that jiva, the notional jiva, he thinks that my knowledge depends upon the senses. Therefore, the Shruti also says jiva's knowledge depends upon senses, whereas Ishvara Jnanam doesn't depend upon. And therefore, who created the universe? Ishvara. And how did he create? He saw and created. Purvapakshi put up the question, how could he see without the senses? Then he says Ishvara Jnanam doesn't depend upon the senses. Therefore, he saw and created the form, and he saw and created the senses. He saw and created the body. He saw and created the mind. He saw and created time. He saw and created the creation. That means his sight is independent of creation. His sight is independent of creation. Is itself an unfoldment. Is itself an unfoldment. That the sight of God is independent of creation. And he saw and created means seeing itself is a creation. Seeing a form is creation of a form. The unmanifest, he saw, that is called creation. Therefore, Pradhanam cannot be the Jagat Karanam, because Pradhanam cannot see. He is blind. Pradhanam is blind. Pradhanam means matter. How can Pradhanam see? Pradhanam is a part of creation. Now, just follow this point, because there are so many sutras connected to it. You have to follow. Only when you follow it can be enjoyed. Say, only Ishvara saw and he created. Therefore, the Jagat Karanam has to be Ishvara, because he saw. Pradhanam can't see. Therefore, Pradhanam cannot be Jagat Karanam. Pradhanam cannot be Jagat Karanam, because it is Ashabdam. There is no mention of it in Shruti. It is Ashabdam, means Ashrutam. There is no mention of Pradhanam in the Shruti as Jagat Karanam. Logic also doesn't accept, because positing matter behind matter leads to regress ad infinitum. If we can posit matter behind matter, then I can posit another matter behind the second matter, again posit another matter, where will you end? You can't posit awareness behind awareness, because that is not in Anubhava. Because awareness subject, you can't posit subject behind subject. Subject presupposing subject is not there. Object presupposes subject, but subject doesn't presuppose another subject. It's not there. Whereas here, everywhere in this world of causation, you can always really posit cause for the effect, and that the cause also can have another cause, and that can have another cause, that can have another cause. The chain of causation in this creation could be endless. Similarly, positing, anyway you are positing matter behind matter through causation anyway. Then through the same causation, then I can posit another matter behind it. It can lead to anavastha. Therefore, even logically it is indefensible. Shruti, of course, doesn't make a mention. Not only it doesn't make a mention, but it makes a mention of refutation of matter. It says positively, it says in many words that Jadam is not the Jagat Karanam. Chetanam is Jagat Karanam. Jadam is not Jagat. Therefore, Pradhanam is not Jagat Karanam. And then there are a few more lines, and after that, this topic doesn't end here. The Pradhanavadi, because he is going to come up. All his arguments, they're all Ashirvadam for a student. Why? Because the arguments that come, the analysis that is there, clarifies, becomes clarity for the student. And some more sutras are there. Continue it later. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vrishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.